Hello everyone, my name is Abhishek and welcome back to my channel. What if I tell you, you can build any full stack production application with all the capabilities like backend, database, storage, even authentication with simple natural language prompts in less than 60 minutes. I know it's a little difficult to believe, but let me tell you, this is exactly what I'm going to show in today's video. And I'll show you this by building a JIRA like application or internal issue tracking system absolutely from the scratch. But before we do that, let's just take a step back and understand the current situation. So currently, if you want to vibe code, there are a lot of AI tools. It can be GitHub Copilot, Claude Code, Codex, and they're all insanely good. You ask them to build a front-end application, they can generate the components for you, pages, and anything around it. But the moment you take this front-end application and start adding back-end capabilities to it, you realize there is a lot of challenges that are involved. To add the backend capabilities, what a lot of people do, they head to Supabase, they create an account with it, and they start manually configuring it. And while manually configuring it, they realize there are so many steps to follow. And this is where a lot of people give up on vibe coding. And this is the reason why a lot of vibe coded applications today, they stay in the prototype stage and they don't head to the production. Let me tell you something interesting here. This problem is already solved. There is an open source AI native alternative to Supabase and it's called Insforge. So all that you have to do, you can use any of these vibe coding platforms. Just integrate that with Insforge, connect that using MCP, and these AI tools automatically configure the backend for you. So this way, you can build any full stack production application without worrying about the backend capabilities. This is going to be a very interesting video. Please watch it till the end. I'll share all the useful links in the description. Let's get started. So as the first step, you need an AI coding tool. In my case, I'll go with Visual Studio Code, where I have my Claude Code extension, even GitHub Copilot. For the purpose of the demo, I'll go with GitHub Copilot agent mode with Claude Opus 4.6. So this is where I'll give the prompt to create internal issue tracker. But before that, I'll connect my Copilot with Insforge. So you can do that by using the link in the description. Just click on it. You will head to the Insforge sign up page. You can sign up with your Google account, even GitHub account. I already created an account using my GitHub account, and this is my dashboard. For the first time, you need to set up an organization. You can set up an organization using the free tier. You can start with this. Let's say you're working on your hobby project or you're working on setting up your first application. You can choose the free tier, get familiarized with Insforge, see how exactly it works. And once you're comfortable, you can upgrade to the pro version if it is required. In my case, I already used the free tier and I created a Python task manager. I got familiar with it. Only then I upgraded to the pro version. Now I'm using the pro version, using which I'll create a new project. Choose the region that is nearest to you. I'll go with Asia Pacific. That's nearest to me. And I'll call this project as internal tracking system. That's what we are going to build. Perfect. So now the project is created. Within this project, we will establish the integration. I'm going with VS Code, so I'll choose this option. Otherwise, like in your case, if you're going with cursor, anti-gravity, coder, you can just click on the relevant one. All that it does, it will set up an extension in your IDE. So I'll click on install. As soon as I do it, you can see within the Visual Studio Code, it shows you the right extension. Just click on the install button. Of course, I have been using Insforge, so it's already installed on my machine. So I can go to the next step. In the next step, so on the project that you're going to work on, so if I click on this and go back to Insforge, you can see Within my organization, I have the internal tracking system. I just have to click on install MCP. That's what I explained to you. So how is the connection established between the AI coding tool and Insforge? That is done using MCP. The best part is that the documentation of Insforge is prepared in a way the AI coding tool using MCP, it can go through the docs, it can understand the functionality, it can make an API call and set up everything that you need. So here in the MCP setting, I'll choose Copilot as an option. Here we go. And install Insforge MCP. I'll say yes. It is running few commands to set up. And there you go. MCP server verified. 17 tools are available. You can view the tools. Fetch docs, fetch SDK docs, get anon key, create bucket, list bucket, delete bucket. So some of them are related to storage, some of them are related to documentation, some of them are related to database, authentication, everything that Insforge can perform. Now I'll just click on the settings to see, the MCP configuration is set up. I have 42 tools here. If I scroll down, I can see MCP server Insforge, and these are the tools that are available. Perfect. So now the basic setup is done. We'll just go back, click on the next, select the agent. So we have implemented this part, verify the connection. So it also gives us a simple prompt to verify that our AI coding tool is connected to Insforge. So this is the prompt. I'm using Insforge as my backend platform. Call Insforge MCP's fetch doc tool to learn about Insforge instructions. We got the output. I'll fetch the Insforge instruction documentation for you. I'll click on the continue. Here is the summary of Insforge instructions I retrieved. All good. So we can start with building our application. To build the application, you need a very good prompt. So this is the only thing that you have to do. As I explained, because you have an AI coding tool, because you have AI native backend, just focus on the prompt and prepare a very good prompt. This is the prompt I prepared. I'll share it in the description as well so that you can also take a look at it. So I'll go through the prompt for you. Build a full stack internal issue tracking application using Insforge. Use Insforge for backend services including database, authentication, API generation, serverless functions, and AI integration. Application goal, create a tool that internal teams can use to track bugs, tasks, and feature requests across the projects. The core functionality of the project, user should be able to create and manage the projects. Issues, which is going to be the another functionality. User should be able to create issues within the project. Issues represents bugs, tasks, or feature requests. If you ever worked with JIRA, this is how exactly JIRA functions. And I've designed the prompt in the same way because we want to build a JIRA-like application. And another core functionality would be issues management along with projects and issues. When it comes to issues management, user should be able to assign issues to the users, update the status of the issues that is assigned to the user, set issue priority, comment on the issues, view issues by the project, view issues assigned to them. And then comes the authentication feature because we want to build a production ready application, and Insforge can also help us with the authentication. So when it comes to the authentication, in the prompt I said, use Insforge authentication features to implement user sign up, user login, user session, protected routes for authenticated users, user roles if appropriate. And most importantly, only authenticated users should be able to create and modify the issues. This is about the core functionality. Apart from that, I also want to create a AI chatbot. It's just like, if someone wants to understand the summary of the ticket, or let's say someone wants to understand what exactly is issue about, AI chatbot, add a simple AI assistant inside the application. The chatbot should help users with things like exploring how to use the issue tracker, answering questions about the projects and the issues, helping to summarize the issues as well as the discussions. So basically, I'm trying to build something like Jira Plus or something that is beyond JIRA. And even here, I'm saying use Insforge AI integration to implement the chatbot. This is another feature of Insforge. So basically, it can also help you with AI integration in any application that you're trying to build. If you need interaction with the large language models to execute some action using the AI, you can do it using Insforge itself. Finally, I provided some basic instructions about the user interface as well. Perfect. So I'll just give it the prompt. Okay, so GitHub Copilot says, I'll build the full stack internal issue tracker step by step. Let me start reading the agents.md file, fetching necessary Insforge documentation. Yeah, this is the obvious first thing that it has to perform. Instead of granting it permissions to execute all the actions, we will use the continue option so that we actually understand every step that it is going to perform. This time, it is working on download the template. Critical, mandatory first step for all the Insforge projects. Let's grant it the permissions for downloading the React template as well are granted. You can see it started creating the src folder, package.json, the TypeScript files that are required. Now it wants to create database schema. Database schema created. Now let's install all the dependencies. Now it is working on the step 2, create Insforge client and library files. And it is also setting up the utility helpers for us. Now it created the utility helpers. It created the profile sync hook, application context. It also created the shared UI components. I think this is going to be quick, even quick than what I actually expected. So the layout and navigation components are being created. This is typically the front end part. So the initial backend configuration is done, where the Insforge related configuration is created, the database schema is created. Now it is working on the UI part, and probably once the main application files are done, again it would go back and work on the integration with the backend part. Oh, it figured out there is a duplicate import. This is actually good. So you can see it is also addressing the static content. So there are two duplicate entries of the import, which would probably fail if this goes into CI/CD pipeline, or if this goes into a quick verification for SAST. Probably that would have been an error, but good that it caught it, and great, it addressed the issue for us. And now it is heading to create the AI chat panel. Okay, once again, this is where the backend integration comes into picture. As expected, it created the front end components, and now it should work on the AI chat panel backend integration with Insforge. Looks like we have the AI chat panel also ready. And now it says, now let me create the main app component that works. Okay, that wires everything together. Perfect. So I think this is going to be the last stage. Till now, it just took somewhere close to 12 to 13 minutes. And we should have our application ready maybe in next 5 minutes. And this was the best part. As I told you, I had to configure literally nothing. In fact, I'm just using the continue option. Otherwise, I could have granted it the permissions, and it would have created the entire application even without asking my consent to run some commands, because I wanted to show you what actions it is going to perform, how is it going to integrate with the backend. That is the only reason why I'm even executing this continue option. There you go. So all the files are created, and it says all files are error free. Now let me build and run the application. Okay, so this would run the application locally. There you go. So localhost 5173. I can access it from the Visual Studio Code browser as well, but instead I'll just access it on my actual browser. This looks great. Issue tracker ship faster, and these are the different options that we ask for. There is an issue tracking where I can create and manage bugs. This is the team collaboration, project overview, and there's also an AI assistant. Let's verify. So I'll just sign in first. I used one of my Google accounts to sign in. So the authentication part is also set up. Now let's try to create a project. Okay. So I'll just name this project as mobile development. Let's see. Create a project. And within this project, Let's see if I can create an issue. Awesome. So I can also create some issues. Let me just call this as fix UI for the mobile app. I'll leave the description. I have options to choose the type. Just like Jira, I'll call this as bug. I'll set the priority to critical and I'll assign this to the signed in user Abhishek.Veeramalla. Let's say if 10 users sign in, I would also have an option to assign this issue to a different user or leave it as unassigned. Okay, looks like there is an issue. When I try to create an issue, it does not create one. Let's ask the AI assistant to fix it, right? Let's say I try to create an issue in the project. Somehow it does not create the issue. Okay, so again, this is just like fixing the issue with the help of AI. And because it can already connect to Insforge, so it's going to verify the complete path. There you go. So it is checking the DB schema. Again, it is going to use the MCP tool. So it is connected to get table schema in MCP. It identified the issue and it is going to fix the issue for us. Fix is applied. Okay, let's try. I'll go back and yeah, this time I'll click on the create issue. There you go. This is awesome. So if you have any issues, just go back to your AI coding tool and fix it. Okay, so let's verify the other workflows as well. So I'll just take this issue and I'll try to change the status to in progress. Let's see. Yeah, so now this status is in progress. I'll also just comment something. Working on it. Just a vague comment, but let's see if this gets posted. Go back to the projects, click on it, and yeah. So fix issue in the mobile application. This is a critical issue and it is in progress. Abhishek.Veeramalla is working on it. So all the major functionality is looking good. Let's also verify AI assistant, which is another cool feature. So if you're wondering where did this come from, you have an option for model gateway. So this is actually where it is coming from. You can see by default GPT-4o mini is selected. So any AI integration option that you're performing, it can be getting some information from internet or responding back to your prompt. This is actually happening through the GPT-4o mini model at the moment. And it shows the same thing here. So the AI assistant powered by GPT-4o mini model. If you want, you can change it as well. Like instead of GPT-4o mini, you can go with different option, but you will be charged accordingly. Cool. So let's ask something here. So let's say, what is this application airport? And there you go. So we have the response back. This application is an internal issue tracker designed to help teams and yeah, so it comes with project management, issue tracking. It gave the expected response. Perfect. Now let's add one final feature to it. I actually like the dark mode. I believe a lot of you as well. So let me just say, add dark mode feature. And yeah, as expected, just after 3 minutes, it says the toggle feature is implemented. And now the application is started with the dark mode. It also restarted the application. Let's see. There you go. So dark mode feature is enabled and I see the dark mode screen. Now it looks much better. And one thing, if you noticed, even after the application restart, I have my project. So it's a stateful application because it is already connected to the database and database management is being performed. So even after the application restart, I have my project in place. I have my issue in place. All the users are in place and the comment, in fact, the one that I did is also here. And now you're only left with one thing. Let's say you want to get this application to production. You need a public URL. Even you can get that using Insforge. Just drop a prompt, deploy the application using Insforge, and share the public URL. Yeah, and then it executed the deployment. Looks like we also have the deployment URL. This is the one. Let me open it. It is also with HTTPS. So you can see the website is also a secure one. So I'll open this one and tada. So now my application is hosted to other users. Now, if you think, oh, what about the control of the database? What about the control of the authentication system? Don't worry, it's completely at your control. You can just head to Insforge, and if you go to the databases, you can see. So you have the issues database here. You have database indexes for chat messages, comments, everything at your control. So you can modify your database schema, you can update it. You can either do it from your AI coding tool, or if you're comfortable, you can also do it from here. Same goes with authentication as well. You can just head to authentication. If you want to add any authentication provider, let's say your organization already has an identity provider or SSO, you can just add the provider and your application is connected to the identity provider. It's that easy. So finally, as promised, we have our JIRA like application set up in less than 60 minutes. You can also go ahead, give it a try. Just sign up with Insforge, set up your organization. As I told you, you can start with your free trial. And once you're comfortable, when you start working on your production application for your business idea, you can upgrade to the pro version. With pro version, you get everything that is part of the free version, but you get additional benefits. Instead of 50,000 monthly active users, you get 100,000 monthly active users. You get $10 as AI model credit. You get 8 GB database size and other benefits as part of the pro version. So this is all for today's video. As promised, we have a Jira-like application in less than 60 minutes. I would definitely want you to go back and try InSforge with your AI coding tool. Once again, all the useful links are in the description. Just create an account and get started. See you all in the next video. Take care.